The man took out a bullet, disassembled the magazine, and removed the spring inside. He picked up a pair of pliers and snipped a section of the spring, then threaded it through some cotton string. Using the pliers, he clamped it tightly to make sure the spring wouldn't fall out. Next, he tied the pliers to the string. Finally, he tore a small piece from his scarf, carefully threaded it through the spring, and rolled it into a bundle, turning it into a bright, makeshift fishing bait. With that, a rudimentary fishing rod was ready. His teammate Michael, curious, took the hook in disbelief. Could this really catch fish? The 3 pilots had been stranded at sea for 2 days without food or water. If they didn't find something soon, starvation would claim them. Taking a why not try approach, Michael cast the hook into the water. To everyone's surprise, a fish bit almost immediately, but there was no time to celebrate. The fish seemed even hungrier than they were. The man and Michael strained with all their strength, but they couldn't reel it in. In the end, both the bait and the hook were devoured entirely. They tried to fashion another hook from the remaining materials, but the scorching sun left them dizzy and weak. They had no energy left to attempt it. The captain and the man wrapped their heads in clothing to get some relief from the heat. Young Michael, however, still full of energy, braved the blazing sun, prepared a new hook, and cast it back into the sea, waiting for another bite. Hours passed with no luck. Hunger and heat wore him down. Finally, he could no longer sit still. He strapped on his life jacket and plunged into the water, using the swim to cool off and scan the area for fish. But after swimming for a long while, he saw nothing but the vast, empty blue sea. Realizing he was just wasting energy, he returned to the life raft to regroup. Without any fresh water or food, they were all weak and dehydrated. The relentless sun beat down on them, and their bodies began to fail from heat and lack of fluids. The man could no longer bear it. He scooped up some seawater, desperate to quench his thirst. The captain immediately told him to put it down. Drinking seawater wouldn't help. It would only kill him faster. The captain's warning left the man feeling hopeless. His body had already lost most of its moisture. If they just sat there, death seemed inevitable. Nearby, Michael forced himself to keep trying. He cast the hook into the sea again, praying for a bite. Finally, small fish appeared near the raft, but they just circled the hook, showing no intention of biting. Seeing this, Michael lost his composure. He retracted the line, pulled out a small knife from his pocket, and prepared to strike the little fish out of frustration. The captain, terrified he'd puncture the life raft, tried to stop him, but Michael, delirious from hunger, ignored the order. He gripped the knife tightly and began stabbing at the water with reckless abandon. With